Good evening. Coming up tonight,
an update on the abortion debate in South Carolina.
Plus, our Gamecocks took a big win against Kentucky.
And later, find out where to get the best haunts in town. Find out more tonight.
But first, our meteorologist Caiden Dinkins is in the studio here with us now. Caiden, what can we expect to see this weekend?
Well, ladies, it did cool down quite a bit for us this week, but that might not last for too much longer as the cold front continues to pass and those warmer weather continues to rise. I'll have more details on that forecast coming up tonight on Student News at 7.
Live from the Kennedy Greenhouse Studio.
This is Student News at 7.
Good evening, Carolina. I'm Riley Hackett.
And I'm Caroline Smith. Thanks for joining us tonight. The South Carolina Supreme Court is hearing a case this week regarding the state's Fetal Heartbeat Bill. The Fetal Heartbeat Bill would ban abortion after 6 weeks with exceptions for rape, incest, and life of the patient. It briefly went into effect when Roe v. Wade was overturned. The state Supreme Court put an injunction on it to hear this case.
Planned Parenthood South Atlantic, Greenville Women's Clinic, and 2 South Carolina doctors filed the case in a lower court in July. They say the Fetal Heartbeat Bill violates the South Carolina Constitution.
Now, the state Supreme Court justices must determine whether this is true. Yesterday, they heard oral arguments from both sides.
Lawyers representing the healthcare providers say the Fetal Heartbeat Bill violates South Carolinians' constitutional right to privacy. They specifically reject the law's requirements for adopting an exception for rape and incest victims. Lawyers representing the state say that access to abortion is not protected under the right to privacy.
Some state Supreme Court justices brought up the idea of a special election to let South Carolinians vote on abortion rights. Chief Justice Beatty said the court's decision could take some time. An injunction remains on the Fetal Heartbeat Bill until the court makes a decision.
The Democratic nominee in the upcoming South Carolina gubernatorial race was on campus today speaking to students. Joe Cunningham, as well as his running mate Tally Casey and a pair of student leaders, addressed the crowd on the Russell House patio to discuss women's rights, education, marijuana laws, and more. After the event, Cunningham spoke about how South Carolina leaders must learn to value Gen Z perspectives in the state.
Look, this is about inclusion. This is about making sure that everybody has a voice. And, right now, Governor McMaster has overlooked this generation. And this is the future. So they need to have a voice. They need to be involved. They need to be talking about, part of the discussion as it comes to what kind of businesses are we attracting to our state.
Cunningham and Casey will face incumbent Governor Henry McMaster and Lieutenant Governor Pamela Emmitt on November 8th. Residents can also request an absentee ballot through October 28th or begin voting early next Monday.
The U.S. Department of Agriculture and the state of South Carolina signed a cooperative agreement to provide more funding for school meal programs. The $3.1 million agreement is part of the USDA's Local Food for Schools Cooperative Agreement Program, or LFS. Through the LFS program, the USDA will award $200 million across states for food assistance purchases for distribution of local foods to schools.
This program will work to distribute these local foods and beverages to school children through the National School Lunch and Breakfast programs. This new initiative will also provide an opportunity for schools and regional farmers to strengthen community ties and give students access to nutritious local foods.
The funding for this program is available through USDA's Commodity Credit Corporation, and it will allow the USDA to help states deal with supply chain challenges brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic. This agreement will impact about 800,000 students across South Carolina.
The Richland Mall, a shopping mall on Forest Drive in Columbia, may soon get an upgrade. The Richland County Council has approved a financial plan to encourage development in the empty mall.
The mall is currently home to only a Belk and a Barnes & Noble. Columbia residents know most of its storefronts have been empty for over 10 years. It used to house a movie theater as well, but that closed earlier this year.
Richland County Council voted Tuesday to approve incentives for developers at the property. This means that businesses who buy a storefront in the shopping mall will receive tax incentives that will help cover the cost of it.
Developers in the city of Columbia are currently negotiating a plan for the property. If the plan is solidified, Richland Mall will soon be the site of a public park, several businesses, and new housing. Council members hope the new development will help revive the area.
Councilman Joe Walker spoke about the proposal Tuesday at the council meeting. Walker says, quote, "It's a 9-figure project the developer is shouldering on its own. The county has certainly stepped up and helped with these tax allowances," end quote. The developer will receive the newly approved incentives if the negotiations end in a deal.
The Mr. and Miss Black USC pageant is back this fall for the first time since 2019. The Association of African American Students here at U of SC is bringing back their traditional contest with a Great Gatsby theme and a new charitable tradition in the works.
This year, contestants will compete for the Mr. and Miss Moneybags titles, which will be given to the contestant who raised the most money during their campaign.
Other titles in the pageant include Mr. and Miss Smooth Talker, Most Photogenic, and of course, Mr. and Miss BUSC. The pageant got its start in the 70s as a way for Black students to get the homecoming court experience while they were not allowed to participate in the university's homecoming pageants.
Mr. Sophomore candidate Caleb Buford shared what the BUSC pageant means to him, saying, quote, "I think this helps impact Black students on campus by letting you know you're being recognized, and you're not only being recognized, but you're being appreciated," end quote. This pageant allows candidates to feel seen by acknowledging the beauty of the university's Black community.
The friendly competition will take place in the Booker T. Washington Auditorium and feature runway walks, contestant questions, and the crowning ceremony. Event doors open at 7 p.m. next Wednesday, October 26th. Students can vote for their top candidate on Garnet Gate until Monday. I love this pageant. I saw it in 2019, the last time that they had it, but I also know one of our former SNAS anchors is competing in it.
That's right, Miss Courtney McLean is going up for Miss Black USC. I'm so excited to hear about this pageant, and make sure you go vote on Garnet Gate. Voting closes on Monday. Coming up after the break, the latest in Gamecock sports. Stay close. The South Carolina Gamecocks took a big win against Kentucky. SGTV News 4 reporter Michael Herring has the scoop. What have you got for us, Michael?
The South Carolina Gamecocks winning streak continues with a win against the Kentucky Wildcats on October 8th, before going into their bye week last weekend. The Gamecocks defeated the Kentucky Wildcats with a final score 24-14. Our record is now 4-2 for this football season. This was a big win for the Gamecocks on Tuesday afternoon. However, fifth-year safety R.J. Roderick has entered the NCAA transfer portal. Head coach Shane Beamer had this to say about the matter. Quote, "RJ is not a part of the football team, not a part of the team anymore. Let RJ speak for himself. But right now he's not a member of the football team and won't be going forward." End quote. This weekend, the South Carolina Gamecocks will take on Texas A&M Aggies. The game will kick off at Williams-Brice Stadium at 7:30, and you can watch the game on the SEC network. In other South Carolina sports news, congratulations are in order for women's tennis player Sarah Hamner, who is a true standout on the tennis court. Hamner, a sophomore, won the singles A2 draw to earn the title ITA Carolina Region Champion. Hamner is the second player in South Carolina history to achieve the title of regional champion. The only other player in South Carolina history to win the regional champion was Michelle Dua in 1988. That's what's going on in sports for SGTV News 4 Sports. I am Michael Herring. Back to you, Riley.
Thanks, Michael. Coming up after the break, News 4 entertainment reporter Emmitt Murray will tell us what's going on in COLA. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. Joining me now is entertainment reporter Emmitt Murray to fill us in on what's happening in COLA this weekend. What do you have for us, Emmitt?
Well, in case you haven't noticed from the horrible traffic, the South Carolina State Fair is back in town. Until October 23rd, you can stop by anytime from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. There you can experience a variety of rides, play some games to win some prizes, and choose from over 90 delicious food stands.
There is also a circus, which you can watch at 3 different times each day, as well as a few different musicians coming to perform. You can check out those lineups at scstatefair.org.
I know I'm definitely super excited to go. I mean, it might be a little pricey, but I mean, the turkey leg, like,
The turkey
can't
leg,
miss that.
the deep fried cookie dough, I mean, come on.
I haven't tried that, but I think I might have to this year. And in even better news, it's officially spooky season here in Columbia. And from now until Halloween night, you can check out DeCease Farm's haunted attractions on select dates. This self-guided experience will take you through 6 terrifying buildings, 3 outdoor zones, and a creepy cornfield, all while unspeakable creatures are trying to make you this year's harvest.
If you think you can handle the frights, be sure to come with cash in hand as cards are not accepted.
Yeah, guys, please remember that part. My freshman year, I went there and waited in line for 30 minutes just for them to tell me I had to go. It was terrible. But I went again last year and it was great. I definitely highly recommend it.
That sounds great, but yeah, cash only. Keep that in mind. That's all your entertainment news for tonight. Coming up after the break, meteorologist Caiden Dinkins will let you know what the weather will be like for game day and beyond. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, y'all. As I said, those temperatures dropped quite a bit. We can see that still here on Friday. Those temperatures are just a little bit lower. That average is at 75, but those temperatures start to come back up on Saturday and warming up into next week as well. But let's take a look at what that looks like right now for us. So that cold air has drifted off to the Atlantic right now with those high pressure systems coming right behind it, bringing that cooler, bringing that warmer and more sunshine weather. That's what we have going on right now. But those temperatures for today were much cooler. The highs only reaching in the upper 60s, 65s, and almost all of the Midlands actually getting a little bit cooler, and 62 in Greenville and Rock Hill, and a little bit warmer by 1 degree in Greenwood, and then a little bit warmer on the coast in the upper 60s, 66 in Hilton Head, 67 in Charleston, and a little bit cooler at 64 in Myrtle Beach. Right now here in Columbia, South Carolina, it has cooled down quite a bit to 58 degrees. It will continue to cool down over the night. That dew point is 33 degrees. So as we continue to drop that temperature, there could be some fog in the morning as well as some frost. So be aware if you're leaving early in the morning, if you need to defrost your windshields. That wind is going southwest at 3 miles an hour. It is calm and cool out. There are a few cloud covers and the humidity is 82%. Now let's take a look at this upcoming week. So coming up tomorrow, it is the high of 70, just a little bit, still a little bit warmer, but not as much as we get towards that normal. It is a frosty start with a low of 36, cooling down quite a bit. And then we jump into those warmer temperatures, hitting our highest temperature on Tuesday at 79 and on Wednesday with that sunny as well, mostly sunny. And we have possible rain on Wednesday. That is our closest chance for rain coming up, but those temperatures could get cooler going into next week.
And finally, tonight's Carolina K9 features Bo.
The picture was submitted by our very own producer, Connor Fisher. Bo is a 9-year-old Great Dane Black Lab mix who loves taking naps in his favorite sunspots around the house and accepting adoration from all those who meet him.
And if that's not enough, Bo turns 10 on Christmas Day. What a happy birthday would that be?
So cute.
Big dogs are such cuddle buddies. I love them. That's all we have for tonight's edition of Student News at 7.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at SGTV at USC.
To keep up with all of our content, be sure to also visit us online at sgtvonline.com. For SGTV News 4, I'm Caroline Smith.
And I'm Riley Hackett. From all of us here at SGTV, have a great night, Carolina. Forever to thee.